Fridays are awesome on CNN 10. Well, they're awesome, period. But we're happy that yours includes our show. I'm Carl Azuz. The U.S. state of California has been suffering a historic drought. 3 years ago, its governor declared a drought state of emergency. Late last year, 97% of California was in drought. But today, the U.S. Drought Monitor says less than 60% of the state is under drought conditions. What happened? A series of winter storms, all hitting in a short amount of time. Since Monday, more than 7 inches of rain have fallen, mostly in Northern California. 6 to 12 feet of snow have fallen on the Sierra Nevada mountains. They're California's biggest source for water storage, and their snow could help refill nearby rivers and lakes, many of which have already risen considerably in recent days. There is a major downside to these sudden soggy storms, though. Avalanches, flooding, river waters rising over their flood stages, soaking land, buildings, and homes nearby. It's brought dangerous conditions to many Californians.
In the U.S., flash floods kill more people than tornadoes, hurricanes, or lightning. A flash flood creates a rush of moving water that can sweep a grown man off his feet, a car off the road, and even your entire home off its foundation. When the ground becomes so saturated that water can no longer seep into the soil, it begins to run off quickly into rivers and streams, and this causes a rise in water in a flash. Densely populated areas have an extremely high risk of flash flooding, with the additional concrete and less grassy areas for the water to soak into the soil, and they can see flash flooding very quickly. In mountainous terrain, the combination of gravity plus the easy runoff can lead to catastrophic flooding when all of that water is funneled into rivers, creeks, and even the valleys. Remember, flash flooding can happen in the blink of an eye. That's why it's important to stay alert and pay attention in case a flash flood watch or warning is issued for your area.
10-second trivia. Which of these historic structures is oldest? Stonehenge, the Great Wall of China, the Colosseum, or Machu Picchu? Researchers believe construction on Stonehenge started in around 3000 BC, making it the oldest structure on this list. Now, why it was built remains a mystery, but that doesn't keep more than 1 million people from visiting Stonehenge every year. It's one of Britain's most famous landmarks. It's also near a road with really bad traffic. That's why the British government has approved a project that would build a traffic tunnel underneath Stonehenge and also widen the highway nearby. The government says it'll give a boost to the local economy, as well as shorten drivers' trip times and reduce traffic congestion. And the plan has the support of the English Heritage Organization as well as the United Nations. But critics say the tunnel won't significantly help traffic and that it could destroy any ancient artifacts that might still be hidden underneath Stonehenge. A historian who opposes the plan says it's hard to believe the government would build a concrete tunnel that would, quote, last at best 100 years and decimate a landscape that has lasted for millennia. The project would cost $2.4 billion and take 4 years to build, starting in 2020. Like the presidential farewell address, which we reported on yesterday, there's no constitutional requirement for a presidential inaugural address. The new American leader is required to swear to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution. But an inaugural address is a tradition dating back to George Washington. With Inauguration Day exactly a week away for President-elect Donald Trump, here's a look back at what some of his predecessors have said.
Here before me is a Bible used in the inauguration of our first president,
George Washington, father of our country.
After the Declaration of Independence was signed,
they knew that America, to endure, would have to change.
This faith is the abiding creed of our fathers.
Ours is a time of change.
This inauguration ceremony marks a new beginning.
The world and we have passed the midway point of a century of continuing challenge.
The challenges we face are real.
Though our challenges are fearsome, so are our strengths.
In these difficult years, America has suffered from a fever of words.
We must adjust to changing times and still hold to unchanging principles.
While many of our citizens prosper, others doubt the promise, even the justice of our own country.
The state of our economy calls for action, bold and swift.
In casting off the chains of poverty.
There are the homeless, lost in roaming.
Idle industries have cast workers into unemployment, human misery, and personal indignity.
We cannot expect to make everyone our friend, but we can try to make no one our enemy.
To those neighbors and allies who share our freedom, we will strengthen our historic ties and assure them of our support and firm commitment.
There is no longer a clear division between what is foreign and what is domestic.
Support any friend, oppose any foe.
From the secret places of the American heart came forth the faith that they could not see.
Those who say that we're in a time when there are no heroes, they just don't know where to look.
There is nothing wrong with America that cannot be cured by what is right with America.
Ask not what America will do for you, but what together we can do for the freedom of man.
Thank you very much.
God bless you and thank you.
And God bless
The United States of America.
There is a great tool available for people learning English with CNN 10 or folks who just want to read along. On our homepage, click the word transcript under the video box. Then, if you scroll down while playing the show, you can see the transcript and watch the video all at the same time. It's like country and western, chocolate chips and cookies, CNN and 10. Los Angeles, California is getting another professional football team, or actually getting it back. The NFL's San Diego Chargers are moving to LA. Their first season was actually there back in 1960, but they've been in San Diego for the past 56 years. Voters there recently decided against a proposal to build their team a new stadium using taxpayer money. So the Chargers will move. They've been renamed the Los Angeles Chargers, and they'll play in the same city, eventually the same stadium, as the Los Angeles Rams. 410 out of 10, maybe it's a bridge over troubled water. Who knows? It's hard to actually see the water from the world's highest bridge. At 1,854 feet above the ground, that's about the height of a 200-story building. This span has the most space between itself and the valley below. It's located in southwest China. It's 4,400 feet long, took almost 3 years and more than $140 million to build, and now it's open to traffic. There's actually a longer report on that. We gave you the abridged version. Didn't want anyone to get cross if they're afraid of heights. Didn't want to keep you in suspense. That about spans our range of stories on CNN 10. We're off Monday for the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday in the U.S., so we'll see you again on Tuesday.